Alright, so go to www.viernesescuela.tk, and then here on the page you can see in here amino acid differences template. Click on the download button. Once you have downloaded the file, open the file, and then you will be directed to Microsoft Excel. Now, as you can see on the template, there are actually different symbols for amino acid. Say for instance, we have alanine stands for A, cysteine stands for C, aspartic acid stands for D, glutamic acid stands for E, up until tyrosine stands for Y. Now in the template, as you can see, there are 24 organisms. Some of them are actually in pair. The amino acid sequence of these organisms or of this species have already identified with specific codes. This is the amino acid number of the different species. It's actually ranging from 0 to 110 or from 1 to 120. Now, your task is to identify the amino acid differences of humans versus monkey versus horse versus donkey up until the last species, which is the human versus Neurospora. Now, on these blank cells, it is where you're going to identify the number of differences of human amino acid to different species. However, there is no formula in the Microsoft Excel to identify the differences of amino acid of these organisms, unless you're going to identify first their similarity. And the formula in getting the similarity of amino acid of this organism is equal sign count F open parenthesis range comma criteria and close parenthesis. Now the first pair we have is the human versus rhesus monkey. Now how to identify the range and the criteria? Always remember we only have one range, and that is human, and our criterion here is the rhesus monkey. And criteria always depends on what organisms we are comparing to humans amino acid. Now let's identify first the similarity by putting the formula, which is count if open parenthesis and then the range. It's like what I've said, the range is the human comma and the criteria is the rhesus monkey. Close parenthesis, enter. Okay, so after that, as you can see, one has been generated, meaning to say that the human and rhesus monkey have the same amino acid and that specific amino acid number. However, our main task is to identify the differences of amino acid of human versus the different species. With that, the formula in getting the differences of this amino acid is equal sign 1 minus similarity. Okay, so we're going to use the formula now. Put that in the cell, equal sign 1 minus the similarity that we have generated a while ago. And that's it. Enter. So you can see that 0 has been generated, meaning to say that on this specific number, the amino acid of human and rhesus monkey are the same. Now after doing that, you don't need to manually put the formula of the similarity of each of the cells in here. The same is true with the differences. You don't need to manually put the formula of differences in here just to identify that the amino acids are different or similar. Now all you need to do is just to highlight these cells and then drag that all the way until this point, and then the computer will automatically generate and adjust the formula. Alright, so now in just 1 second we have already identified the similarity and differences of amino acid of human and rhesus monkey. Now next thing that we need to do is to identify the total difference of their amino acid, and the formula that we're going to use is equal sign sum open parenthesis and the range close parenthesis. Now the range of our total difference is from this point up until this point. Okay, so now let's use the formula equal sign sum open parentheses and then the range from this point up until this point. And then close parenthesis, enter. So we only have one amino acid difference for human versus rhesus monkey. So next pair that we're going to identify for the amino acid difference is human versus horse. So again, the same, our range will be human, and this time our criteria will be the horse. So let's put the formula now, equals sign, count if, open parentheses, our range is the human, comma, our criteria is the horse, close parenthesis, enter. Next is the difference. The formula for difference is equal sign 1 minus the similarity, which is this, and then enter. And again, after doing that, highlight these cells and then drag it all the way up until the end. Now for the total difference formula, you don't need to put the formula, you just drag the cell down, just like this. And then the computer will automatically generate the formula and adjust the formula as well. So now your task is to identify the amino acid differences of human versus the other organisms up until human versus Neospora. And after you're done with it, this will be the output. And I just can't imagine if you will do this manually. So this will be the total difference of human versus the different organisms. After that, you click on Other Sheet and the computer automatically generated the horizontal bar. Alright, so hope that this tutorial will be helpful for you to accomplish your project. Enjoy!